Have you ever colored a picture with marker and noticed that two touching colors begin to blend together? Well, that's an example of diffusion. Diffusion is the mixing of substances due to the movement of their particles. This can occur in all sorts of matter, but it is most commonly observed in liquids and gases. Typically, diffusion refers to the movement of molecules from high concentrations to lower concentrations. The rate of this movement depends on the energy of the molecules. Now let's do a simple experiment and experience how temperature affects the mixing of the coloring dye with water. We'll be needing a hot and cold water, a funnel, 2 clear plastic bottles or a container, coloring dye powder, and a pair of gloves. So before we start the experiment, let's wear first our pair of laboratory gloves. After wearing the gloves, we will start to fill one clear container half full or just 60 ml with the hottest water. Second, fill the other container the same amount of the coldest water you can get from the tap, using a funnel to infiltrate water and to prevent it from wasting. Then, we will separate the red and yellow color dye powder into empty small caps with an even amount before pouring it into the containers. So we are all set. Now let's make a prediction. What might be different about the way the coloring dye powder moves through the cold water and the hot water? Which glass do the coloring powder moves or mix faster? Now let's observe what will happen to the coloring dye powder. Look closely. Does it move differently in the hot water than the cold water? The container with the red color dye powder is the hot water, and the other container with the yellow color dye powder is the cold water. As what we have observed, or the dye mixes through the hot water faster than it mixes with cold water. This is because in hot water, the water molecules have more energy and are moving faster than the water molecules of cold water. This makes it easier for the dye to get mixed throughout the hot water because diffusion happens from high concentration to low concentration. As we have observed, the dye in red color in the hot water mixes faster than the dye in yellow color in the cold water. Energy hot water model diffusion is important. How we get oxygen to all the cells in our bodies. When the oxygenated blood is in your capillaries in your lungs, the oxygen in your lungs diffuses from a higher concentration in your lungs to the lower concentration in your blood. This allows red blood cells to carry oxygen all over your body.